Tom, and today's video is going to go over what is needed once I'm elected to the PTA board. Sometimes elections will occur usually in March or April. Your term that you're elected for does not start until July 1st. The PTA organization runs on the fiscal year, so it will be July 1st through June 30th of the year. Once you get elected, though, I would 100% talk about how can you be more involved if you're not already with the PTA. So you want to try going to the executive board meetings, you want to go to the association meetings, what PTA events are left at the end of the year, can you volunteer for them? That's one of the best ways to learn PTA processes, especially at your school site, because every unit runs a little bit differently. The next thing I would suggest is work on communicating with the new executive board team. That is usually started by the president-elect, but anybody really could start this process. How do you guys want to talk? Do you want to have a group text? Is there a group chat app that you want to use? Is it just going to be through email? Is it through phone calls? Working together as a team sometimes can be challenging, but at the same time, if you start off with group communication and everybody is a part of that communication, it really helps everybody stay on the same page. The next thing that I find really important would be starting to plan. One of my good friends, another PTA mom, has done president alongside of me while I'm doing other roles. She has always said, plan, 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 and I cannot agree more to that. So when you ask, well, what exactly are we planning? Here's a few things that I find kind of important to have a grip on and an understanding of. You want to plan out kind of your goals. What is the unit's goals? What is the school kind of looking for the PTA? What type of support? You also want to plan your PTA calendar, your PTA budget, the PTA programs, and fundraisers. That can kind of help give you an idea of how the school year is going to look. But going a little bit deeper, the PTA calendar. When you're planning your PTA calendar, take at least these 3 calendars along with it when you're looking at dates. You want to take a look at the school district calendar. The school district calendar is going to give you the holidays, the minimum days, first day of school, all of those set dates. I would plug that into your calendar first. And then secondly, if your school site already has a calendar for next year, I would ask if you can take a look at it to start plugging in those dates, because you don't want to plan a PTA event the same day that there is an awards assembly planned, most likely, or some other school event. You need to make sure you're working with the school site on those days. And then additionally, I would suggest look at your personal calendar. Make sure you don't have a big wedding coming up, and don't plan a PTA event on the same day as a family wedding. You do have some flexibility in that, and when we usually put out that PTA calendar for the first of the year, we'll put that it's tentative, because sometimes you can't get an exact date. The location may not be available. There may be a weather issue. Things come up, so you do need to move around the calendar dates. But at the same time, you're kind of giving yourself also a guideline of what you're wanting to accomplish through the year. When it all comes together, you're also going to have to look at your budget. Every PTA term will have their own budget. So you will usually receive some funds from the previous year, but that won't be probably sufficient enough to run all the programs that you want to do throughout the year. So when you're looking at the budget, you will learn more about it during training, but you're going to take a look at your incomes that's coming into the PTA, as well as expenses that are going out, and you're going to kind of keep those numbers close by so that you're not spending way more than you're bringing in, etc. The other thing to remember with your budget is that it is a living document, meaning that when you have that budget and you budget $500 for spiritware, and then you find out, oh, it's a lot more than that, like prices have gone up, there are ways and processes that you can increase budget line. The other thing you want to take a look at would be programs. This would be like the program's family events, or do you have a running club at your school? Does the PTA do spirit sticks? Does the PTA teacher appreciation, staff appreciation? There's different types of programs that you can run. As an executive board coming in, I would have a communication with the new board and ask them, what programs did you like that the PTA currently did this year, and maybe what programs are you wanting us to consider bringing in for the new school year? Because again, every PTA term, executive board, kind of works on their own terms, and then it moves on. You can run your own programs during that time as long as you get it approved at the beginning of the year. Additionally, to run the programs that usually cost money, your unit will probably have to do some fundraising. This fundraising could be catalog fundraiser, fun run fundraiser, family dine out fundraisers. There are different types of fundraisers that will bring money into your unit, into your school, and every school site is different. So some schools may do really well with a catalog fundraiser, but other schools do better with the fun run. So you take a look at what fundraisers have been done at my school previously. Were they successful? Is it something to move on, or would we like to bring a new fundraiser in? Additionally, when you're looking at fundraisers, look at the percentage that is going to be given back to the school. If you do a catalog fundraiser that only gives 10% back, is it worth the time and the money that you're spending with your families are having to spend? Or do you want to go with the fundraiser that maybe you get 40, 50, 60% back? So take a look at the different options before you finalize a fundraiser. Additionally, with fundraisers, PTA rule of thumb, you only can do one fundraiser for every 3 programs or givebacks to your school. This meaning you're not wanting to ask for money all the time from your parents and families. That's not what your goal is. Your fundraiser is just to raise enough money to last or to be able to be utilized throughout the year during your term. Additionally, when money moves over from one executive board term to the next, there shouldn't be a high amount of money moving over. You want to keep that lower, because rule of thumb is when you're doing fundraising, whatever you're fundraising for the term is to be used on the students for that school year. So keep that in mind, because sometimes you may plan out 3 fundraisers, but you had 2 really successful fundraisers. You may not need to run the 3rd fundraiser if you don't have anything you're needing to spend it on or programs planned. Summer trainings will be posted most likely from your council and your district or your state PTA. These trainings are very valuable in learning processes of the PTA's forms, what's expected, to help maintain your 501(c)(3) status with your nonprofit organization and unit. So definitely keep an eye out once you see it, add it to your calendar. Most PTAs, I believe through insurance, is required to do yearly annual trainings for the position as well as a financial training. So that keeps everybody on the same page, following the same processes. And then another item I would consider is to have communication with your school administration, meaning maybe the president-elect and the treasurer, people that are going to be in the office quite a bit, need to have communication. Go talk to the principal secretary, introduce yourself, as well as, if you haven't already, go talk to your vice principal, your principal. Let them know who you are and that you're really wanting to be involved at the school, and, see what are their concerns, or if they have any suggestions for PTA as you guys move forward in your term. And lastly, something you can do at home, which is very straightforward, but it's there. Your toolkit, your state PTA or a national PTA, they have a toolkit that gives you job descriptions for pretty much any PTA role under the sun. This one is going to be kind of a standard one that all PTA units can take a look at, but at the same time, it will kind of give you an idea of what's expected you in your role for your executive board position. But keep in mind, every unit is different, so every unit may have additional roles or additional processes that need to be followed to ensure a successful school year. Anyways, I hope this video and all this information was helpful to you. Please feel free to drop me an email. I would love to hear the other ideas you have of videos, questions you have regarding the PTA process. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.